What is up, everybody? I am Taylor. We're running a couple minutes late today because Joe was stuck in the 18th century blacksmithing, and minor delay there. But we're all good. Without further ado, I'm going to bring him on, let him introduce himself, and we'll get into this and get going and have some fun here. Los Crucius, hopefully you're still around. If not, you can watch it on the rewind. So, what's up, man? How you doing tonight?
Hey, what's going on? Thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks for being here. So why don't you tell the folks at home, which there are currently none of, but that's all right. They can see it on the rewind. Tell people a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Pocan Joe. If you don't know me, I have two channels here on YouTube. One, I do a weekly comic book review, and I attend Comic Cons and show off all the stuff that I got because I like showing off how much I spend. Right? And my second one is Evil Layer Projects and Builds. On there, we kind of take comic book themes or concepts, and we do our best to try to bring them to life as best we can. So currently, I'm working on a Trident, and unfortunately, that's why we are late today.
Nice.
Because I got caught up in a Trident, and I'm trying to do an amalgamation of Namor and Aquaman's kind of together, have highlights of both of them in it. So I've been blacksmithing, and then, of course, I just got back from Heroes Con, and I thought I could get a few minutes of editing in, and so I'm so
fair enough. So you tend to like gift you tend to make these projects for people a lot of times. Is it tried for somebody, or is it just one of your own personal collection things?
The majority of the time they go to somebody. There are things I'm not like comfortable sending to people.
Sure.
Like we took a bunch of used computers and we made a working laser with them and one with a display show. And again, it shoots really far, and you accidentally shoot somebody's eye out.
Right? Yeah, so you didn't send that out to like Tyler from Whack Comics? It'd be
perfect. No. Yes, he would.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very responsible grown-up. He wouldn't do anything wrong at all with a laser.
Yeah, one of the few projects we made, we took the concept, just an idea of the concept of something. We took, the most iconic knife in all comic books is a genuine chef's knife. Some people would call it a butcher's knife.
Yeah.
So we made two of those, actually. We sent one to Rob's Fat Stacks, and we gave one to our boy Austin LeMay out there because they enjoy cooking and stuff like that. And sometimes this stuff turns out really good, and sometimes it doesn't. But the whole point is somebody actually took the time to do their best in 30 days to make you something good, bad, or indifferent. Somebody spent that time for you.
Yeah, that's cool. And yeah, Jim's here. You got a very cool ring from you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, did that channel come first, or was your comic review? What channel came first for you?
Yeah, so Pocan Joe's comic review's been going strong now for almost 5 years now, and we have not missed a weekly review yet. And the Evil Layer Projects and Builds, that's only about 1.5 years old.
Gotcha. And that one's taken off. It seems like
because I cheated.
Yeah. How did you do that, Joe? Did it involve leaving NFC chips or whatever at certain cons or anything?
Yeah. So. And it's a funny story, right? So the first time we did it, I got this idea to use NFC chips. If you don't know, the way you're able to pay for things on a computer is your phone gets close to it, and the energy from your phone actually ignites a chip in it, and that's how you're able to pay for it. Well, you can buy, make, and create those chips. So I made a custom one. And the first one, again, I'm not a programmer. A lot of these things that I do in the Evil Layer, there's a skill set that I'm learning. So coding was the particular project there. And I did not actually bring it up to where it would be a notification if somebody's phone got close enough to it. The first time we did it at Baltimore Comic Con.
Yeah.
And I just programmed it. And what happened is the video would just start playing if your phone got close to it, right? It's actually illegal, right? The person should always have the option.
Sure. Yeah, fair enough.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and you know which video it is. It's the one with 11,000 views on it. So we went back.
That's why I'm hoping you rig something. I'm actually terrified to open this box when we get to it, and I'm worried it might explode or do something in here. So we'll see.
But the one you're familiar with, that was version 2, and that one would pop up saying, "Hey, there's a notification for a video to watch."
Yeah.
And then you would watch the video. About where you stick them, we talked about that at the we put them right where you would pay for something, or on subway seats, and God knows how many views I'm still getting from those chips.
Yeah, I don't know. Some jerk put one right by like the checkout thing at Whatnot. I don't know who did that. That was I don't know who would do a thing like that.
Yeah, so mischievous I am.
Yeah. But that one, yeah, if it gives a notification, then it can always opt out, and that's the whole key, right? You have to be able to like say no to this stuff. So
Yeah.
nice. So okay, have you been collecting your whole life, or did you kind of like start back up like 5 years ago, or how did
I
it go?
started back up about 6 years ago. I didn't even
Gotcha.
think about YouTube at the time until my boy, Spectacular Spider Grandpa, part of the Blaster Stash It team. I know him. Our wives know each other. And he kind of urged me, and he's urged a lot of people to kind of get into comic book YouTubing type stuff. And my first videos were horrible, like everybody's. Like,
Yeah, sure. I mean, mine haven't gotten any better. They're still at a horrible level. One of these days, I'll maybe get better, but yeah, it's, I wanted to edit or take time and go back and use multi cameras or a functioning mic. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. So, do you have a favorite character or anything? I don't, because like you just kind of the box direction you gave me as far as building your box was vague as all hell. So you're getting you'll see. But like, do you have like a favorite, or is it?
So as far as my actual personal collection, my weekly review of modern comic books, a lot of that I do not keep. It goes to an auction. I'm just reading a comic book and telling you my thoughts on them. Sure. But when it comes down to it, my main collection is Golden Age and early Silver Age.
Nice.
Usually when you see me after a con, or I'm starting an 80s collection, a short box of nothing but first issues from the 80s characters, themes, things like that.
All right, which is what Darkhawk and I don't know who else, but that's
Darkhawk. But then you got like Super Friends, and then like Smurfs. Number one, you just picked that up. Kitty stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
But as far as some of my favorite characters, I always call myself the villain by nature. So I would say that my favorite villain all time is a toss up between like Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, he's a good one.
Yeah, right. Like he's just that calm, cool, collected, evil. I'm a huge Lex Luthor fan.
Nice. Yeah, they're both schemers and not like crazy. Did you read the newest Hellions book at all? Because that was Mr. Sinister was in it, but he was a little goofy.
Yeah, I didn't like that one. A lot of that new X-Men stuff that relaunched has been pretty much a miss for me. Like I got excited when X of Swords came out, right?
Sure.
And I got, because I'm a blacksmith.
That's what I thought too. I was like, oh, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be badass battles. And no, it's like an eating contest and some bullshit.
Yeah, it's like get married. That was one of the challenges. I was like, I don't really know what this is about.
Yeah, I think it jumped the shark on that, but that's kind of where I stopped. I was like, I'm done. I don't care.
And same thing with Hellions. I got about 3 issues into it, and I was just like, I don't like this character. I don't like this Mr. Sinister. So
I didn't mind that one. I thought he was just kind of at least they were doing something with him, but like he's been kind of in the back burner for a bit. But
yeah,
they did make him kind of goofy.
It was weird.
Well, aggressively likes the sassy. Jamie's wondering. Okay, we got people in the chat here.
I've met aggressively, relaxing briefly, and got a copy of his comic book.
Nice.
Look it up, old man. Very good. It's what you would expect from a name of aggressively relaxing.
That's awesome.
It fits.
Just a really angry stoner is what I picture. But cool. And you were at Heroes Con last weekend, and you met a bunch of other folks too, right? Like I know Jim was down there, and Mark.
Yeah. So Chip Gettler just decided to randomly show up after.
Yeah, that's a very Chip move.
Yeah, very Chip move. He gave me two fantastic covers of some war comics. I like older war comics that have like the cover has to really kind of stand out to me.
Sure.
In that case, because let's be honest, I'm not reading a Golden Age.
You're not digging into the
digging into the combat story, because God, a lot of those stories were true stories, and I don't want to get caught eating one, right? Like,
yeah. You mean the Golden Age racism and all that stuff? Yeah, right. There's a reason they don't show half-tailed Bugs Bunny cartoons anymore.
Right?
Yeah.
Ran into pop culture philosopher.
Oh, Robbie? Yeah, I've never had a chance to meet him. He seems like a cool dude, but like
it's the same guy from YouTube. Like there's no acting there. It's the same guy. It's pretty cool.
So he just hits the vape a lot, and
yeah. And then of course meeting Mark in person. You see everybody online, and then you meet him in person, right? And it's like it's I don't know. It's a different experience. Met some new people. Southpaw, Brad. He just recently started a channel.
Nice.
real smart. I had a lot of questions, wanted to ask a lot of questions, and I was like, most of us here are either just at 1,000 or better, but we're happy to share with whatever we know.
Yeah, and was your advice just like leave shit lying around for people to wander into, and then it'll activate the videos? Perfect. Yeah.
I think I actually told somebody to always be consistent, and I did. I was like, always be consistent every week, put something out, and always be on time.
All right, you're great at that advice. It makes perfect sense. I mean, East Coast time's a little different, so
yeah, we're a little different here.
Yeah. Well, shit, man. Let's get into the box and we can keep chatting and stuff. Like, now do you watch movies and stuff too, or you're mostly like a comic guy, or like, do you have like a?
I'm not huge into movies. I don't watch a lot of TV at home. Like, I keep up with a lot of the same shows everybody else does, just so I can be part of the conversation if I'm on a panel or something.
Yeah.
But most of the times, I catch everything, more good, bad, indifferent. I catch all the Marvel movies that come out, of course, just to see what they do.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite comic book movie, or is it kind of?
Oh, there's nothing better than Endgame. Well, no, before Endgame.
Oh, Infinity War or whatever? Yeah. That part 1 was really awesome.
Ended all. I never walked out of a movie theater more happy in my entire life, wishing something would come true as a species.
Yeah, the more people I see, the more I think Thanos had the right idea. If you could pick the half you wanted to get rid of, that'd be better. But I'm just waiting for you to make a functioning Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, right. So am I going first? Is that how
you go first? Yep, yeah. We'll just dive in and we can just keep chatting and stuff. Like,
okay.
The books are, like I said, they're random ones for you because I didn't really know what to do. And if you hate them,
sure,
I have faith in your ability to auction them off. So yeah.
I am sure I'm going to like them. And see, when people say that, like, hey, I want to send you an AKO. You got any ideas? And then I'm, my personal collection's golden age or early ages and stuff like that. I really don't want anybody spending that kind of money on me.
Sure. And trust me, I didn't spend a crazy. Like, these are all books I had in my collection. I think there's some cool ones in there. Especially, well, you'll see.
Nice. It's like Christmas.
Yeah, I know. It's actually more fun to give than receive. At least for me, it's like, let's see whatever. Like, I thought of this. I just put together a $500 mystery box over the weekend that I'm part of like a competition for. And I'm like, oh, it's a lot of fun putting this together. I mean, I hope I win too, because I'm a competitive son of a bitch. But
sorry if I'm loud. I just fixed my mic settings.
No, it's all good. Original Captain America and then Gauntlet. Yeah, I can see that, Biggie. Those are good movies too.
Okay. Oh, it's good. How did you know I don't read instructions?
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
we're gonna start here.
I just put the pull tabs on the side. I didn't used to do that, and then people are like, "Which side do I start on?" I'm like, "I don't know, the side where the pull tabs are." Like,
yeah, right. Okay, we're gonna start here. All right, you're getting this fresh as I go. Here we go. Bam. Ooh. That's the $1 million doc.
It's a random one, and it's technically silver or gold age. So
that is awesome. I don't care.
I mean, like again, I figured you got to start with a little sense of humor too in there because
whatever. It's worth
I think it was. I'm sure it was a Disney movie at some point or a series or something that I've never heard of.
I don't. I'll have to look that up. I also like things that
we need Scott from Horserside in here. He would.
Yeah, if I don't know anything about something, I just pick things up just to find out more about it.
Yeah, that's
as weird as that is.
That was one I picked up a while ago. I'm like, what in the hell is that? It's like, all right, I gotta have this.
Right, next. Ooh. Hot stuff. Number 74. Yeah. I got a hot stuff number
comics have changed so damn much. Like, they were more risque back in the day. It's really weird. Like,
a little bit, right? So,
and now everyone's just so chicken shit of everything that, like,
I don't know if you've ever seen a Golden Age G.I. Joe comic book, but
I've seen like late or early silver, but
yeah, very early, right? It's not the G.I. Joe you would recognize anymore. But if you look at the covers very closely, he's always doing something horrific, like setting somebody on fire. And he's got this great smile on his face, like, I'm just over here being the best me I can be.
Yeah, that's
Doing just
Yeah.
stabbing people and
and all the old like horror pre-code horror books that are all going for a ton of money now. It's like, holy crap. Yeah. They are brutal. They're like they
Tales
weren't
of
really worried about affecting the kids. Like, kids will be fine.
Tales of the old school Mandalorian Tales of Suspense number 85 with Captain America Iron Man. I am an old school Mandarin fan.
Nice. Yeah, and that's I mean it is beat to hell, but
I don't care. That will look great in my collect. That is beautiful.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure if they had any of these, and like I said, I'm flying blind, and I'm like, all right, let's give them what I think are kind of cool covers and titles.
So far, you're batting 1,000. Okay.
Right.
Wonder Woman number 259, the only true secret origin of the mighty Amazon Wonder Woman. Now that's a cover for you.
It is. It's not quite one of the bondage covers because those go for a stupid amount of money.
Stupid money. Just to do what I do on a Saturday night. That's crazy.
Tie yourself up with a lasso of truth.
The Innermost Secrets, DC's first, another great collector's item. Oh wow, I'll have to look that one up too. Yeah,
I think it's a retelling of the origin and stuff in there. So yeah.
That is really cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of DC books because that's what I had for the Silver, and I think
DC had cool covers in the Silver.
And Marvel wasn't really around until like late Silver, anyways. So I can't afford the timely stuff or the Atlas stuff. So
you can, right?
Yeah.
Another great cover. Okay, World's Finest. So already it's a classic cover. Number 128.
Yeah, they were just so goofy back then too. Like
they were. Look at that. That is ridiculous. I love that.
I kind of feel like more people would buy shit now if they did some of that too.
Yeah, if you because you can still have adult content in the kinky.
Yeah. Plus, all those were like one and done stories too, which you don't get anymore.
Yeah,
like you can't. If you walk into a comic shop now and you pick up like a Batman, you're gonna have no clue what's going on.
Yeah. All right, so we got another World's Finest, number 150. Oh, great Superman, Batman cover.
Yeah.
That is great. And this is featuring Superman and Batman in the duel of another super gamblers.
Yeah. It was also the wussiest version of Superman ever. That he was like not very strong and not very smart in those comics. But
that is great.
That made him more fun.
Oh, Boys Illustrated. Yes, number 69.
There you go. I figured, if anybody needed something like reckless behavior that involved jumping a bridge or something, it was you.
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah. Have you built your own like motorcycle and/or sidecar yet? Because it seems like.
All right, Midnight Mysteries. Ooh, I've seen these before. I think I have a few of these. Number 7, not a low number like this. Number 10, Robot Hand crashing an airplane.
Yeah, that almost went to Rob. It was a toss-up on that one because he's also a fan of the robot covers. But I was like, you know what?
I like a good robot cover too. Little sci-fi covers. Yeah, these are really cool. Nice. Oh yeah, we got a good one now. We have Adventure Comics number 266. Got a little crypto action going on the front there. Down.
Yeah.
Superboy.
And crypto's coming to the movies, so that's a spec book. I have no idea.
Featuring the super pranks of Super Dog. So it sounds like he does a bunch of things in here.
Yeah, probably.
That is funny. Oh, definitely have to check that one out. We'll flip through that. And speaking of dangerous games to play, if you've ever played barn darts when you were a kid against your friends, we got Superboy number 80. Supergirl throwing darts directly at Superboy.
I think that's the first meeting of those two.
Really?
I think so. It's either that book or the night. One of them in the stack.
It says right on the front. The old school comics told you right on the front. It says Superboy meets Supergirl.
Yeah, so that is actually kind of a key book. So that's
that is nice, and that's super clean too. Thank you. These are very thoughtful, man. I appreciate that very much.
I'm glad you dug them, man. Like I try and put together, even go blind. I'm like, what do I think would be a cool box for somebody to get? And that's kind of
there's the big spec book right there. You're going to regret giving that one.
I mean, when they make a sequel, the $1 Million and One Duck or whatever.
And on top of the huge collection I just got from Heroes Con, I'll make sure to follow.
Didn't you buy a pretty big collection not too long ago?
Yeah, I bought. Yeah.
Have you gone through it yet, or are you still kind of working through it all?
This has been the most passive thing that I go through. Whenever because I don't have a whole lot of time, but I couldn't pass up on the deal either. It was 37 long boxes.
Oh wow!
Spanning everything from last month all the way back to 1940. It's a little bit of everything in it.
Yeah,
and that was the full collection. That was just part of the collection.
That's crazy. Are they organized, or is it all just kind of?
It started off very organized, but as this gentleman, he was in his upper 70s.
Gotcha.
You could tell at one point he was just getting out just to buy things and talk to people because they would just randomly be filed, which I knew this guy. I talked to him in the comic book shop all the time. He was a cool guy. He was one of those older gentlemen you just couldn't get away from.
Yeah,
you heard him.
Yeah, if I just looking at somebody to talk to and like that share the joy of comics and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, what's the coolest thing you've got picked out of there so far, or maybe not really even at all?
I'm sorry.
What's the coolest book you picked out of that collection so far, or is it?
There was 2 Hawkman #1s in there.
Oh wow!
3 X-Men #1s.
Nice.
Yeah. Remember those Good Girl back covers that were like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
The whole run of those, all of them.
Nice.
Yeah. Some Red Sonja action. So yeah, there's some huge books in there, and I know there's some even Golden Age huge books in there as well.
Nice. So let me do the next one. What's your favorite book in your collection? It doesn't have to be most valuable or anything, but like what?
Ranger comics. I love Ranger comics.
Nice.
The Golden Age. Whenever I see one, I think I accidentally bought a double, but I'm perfectly okay with that.
That's all right.
The one that eludes me is the 1941 issue 1.
Okay.
I haven't seen it anywhere. I talk to dealers about it, and they're just like, "Yeah, nah. We don't even know if it really exists."
Wow. Yeah. You got to get the network on the lookout for you. Some of the other Golden Age guys. So.
Yeah, my second favorite would be Peter Porker's Spectacular Ham, which I just picked up this weekend.
Nice.
That was the first, not issue 1, but that run was the first one that got me into comic books.
Yeah.
So I was super stoked, and I found it for $60.
That's not bad.
That's right. Anywhere else I've gone, they want like 100 to stupid amounts of money.
I lucked out and I got a mid-grade one in a bundle of Marvel Tales, and I paid like $20 for the full like 20 books, and like that was the last book in there. I was like, oh okay, like yeah. And Joe wants you to send him the X-Men just because he's like like read them, so he's like, yeah. Jim's like, yeah.
We'll do it. What I'm going to do is, and everybody knows I have the dollar auction thing. So whatever I'm not, I think a lot of this I'm going to end up keeping, but most of the in-between stuff, I'll just throw in with some modern auction that I have. I'm putting one together now. Usually it takes me a month to get it all together.
I understand. If behind my laptop, there's stacks of books, like 10 stacks that high that I'm just trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing with them, how to organize them, how to get rid of them. And it's like, okay, like I was selling on Whatnot, but that app has kind of just taken a dump lately as far as being able to sell on there. So I'm like, I'll figure it out.
I can't do it. If I want dollar bin books, I'll go to a dollar bin.
Yeah. And you can find good books on there. I found a few good ones, and I've gotten.
Oh yeah, at first when it first launched off, guys were making a name for themselves. There were some great books, but I checked, and I finally jumped off the app like 6 months ago. I saw your auction, but some of the other ones I would go to was just like, nah, I'm just not going. I don't know this person, and anybody knows me. I like dealing with people I know.
Yeah.
When it comes to comic books and stuff like that, and I hope people feel the same way about me. But yeah, it just wasn't my thing. And then I had that experience where it was a bunch of dollar bin books. I overpaid for them. And the guy literally just threw them in an envelope, and I was just like,
Yeah, that's. I mean, you can get that on eBay and everything too, which sucks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's hard. Like it is. Once you find people I know that I can buy from, then I know they'll be like Alan May, great seller on there. He always has deals. You can if you time it right with his sudden death stuff, you can get some great books. And he always throws in extras, and he's just a genuinely good dude, and that means a lot. When like trying to.
Yeah.
But. You're right. There are just like and it is a crapshoot, and it's very crowded down there right now. So it's like, okay, it is what it is. But so I'm going to embiggen myself and hope I don't get blasted with like a glitter bomb or something, and we'll see.
No. My wife made sure that there was no explosive devices in this box.
Okay. Well, hang on, guys. This is I did a little. I had a few extra minutes. So I did a pre-unboxing, but it's got a little card in here.
I always put in a card whenever I
nice.
do something.
Aw, this is like genuinely sweet. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
That's going out there.
Yeah. All right. And then yeah. So you do the weekly reviews, and then you do like I know you put like progress vids and stuff up too. Like, but you make content more than once a month on your Blacksmith channel.
Yeah, so generally I try to promo everything with some animation software that I was trying to teach myself to use anyway. They don't really get a whole lot of views, and I try to be kind of sarcastically funny in it. And sometimes it misses, sometimes it hits.
Yeah.
But I always like to promo something just so you don't forget that chick, because 30 days, right? That's a long time.
It is, yeah.
Right? So I try to put something out there, just say, hey, I still exist.
Well, yeah. Have you done the YouTube Shorts at all? That seems to get a lot of views.
Yeah, I just learned how to do the shorts over on Instagram where you can do the voice background thing.
Yeah.
Once I got comfortable with that, I'll probably start looking at a few shorts, just some quick, hey, this is a quick blacksmithing thing or something I'm doing. Just take a clip from the video and just kind of put it out there with some music or something.
Yeah. I mean, I think the blacksmith one people are going to love because if you've never watched blacksmith, it's cool as hell to watch.
It is.
It's a pain in the ass to do. But
that's why every project's not a blacksmithing project.
Yeah. I've tried it and like I was not good. It was all brittle when I was just did it wrong. I broke everything and my instructor probably isn't for you.
The center point that I was trying on the Trident today, for some reason, it's 2 round bars, right?
Yeah.
And I was going to forge weld them into 1 bar, but for some reason, like I used flux, got my heat up right, and they just kept like all of a sudden doing that, and it was just like,
oh yeah, like would twist on each other, and then
or stand out, and so I had to cut it, redo it, and I did that like 4 times today. And of course, you're using a heavier hammer to forge weld, so it's like a 4-pound hammer that you're just slamming into this handle.
Well, get your workout in at least.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, I'm going to dive in and see what we got here. Ooh, nice. I finally have a copy. Sweet. That's awesome. Thank you, man. I've been looking forward to this. Hell yeah. For folks that don't know, this is a collaboration between Austin LeMay and Joe here. A very limited copy. And, Austin, one of the greatest content creators on YouTube. You should definitely go check out his vids. He's got thousands of them. Yeah. If you can find them.
Him and Beckerman.
Yeah. This is a great cover. Yeah.
I love that cover. Like I said, sketched that on a napkin, cool. And I was like, that's exactly what I want when I kind of gave him the idea. And I love it when I don't have to, because, when you're paying an artist, but you want an artist to be, express their artwork, right? You don't want to badger anything, but he just took the words out of my mouth, and it created the image in his head, and it was beautiful. It's just one of those stupid things that worked out.
Yeah, he's ridiculously talented, that motherfucker. I'm envious of his skills. Like I draw and I paint and all that stuff, but I can't do the comic book realism and stuff like he does. He's got it down, and he's got some serious skills. And then hell yeah, Nightwing, fuck yeah. I've just learned to appreciate this character too. It took me a while.
So I tried to find covers. I know you're not a huge modern day guy. I know you got a weekly pull and all that.
Yeah.
I tried to find covers that, hey, I recognize this. Maybe you didn't get it.
No, this is very cool.
Other things in there too.
Awesome. Yeah. And I like Chuck Dixon. I like Scott McDaniel. I don't have this one. This is perfect. Thank you, man. Oh, there we go. And speaking of that son of a bitch, Chip Cutler.
White Shadow.
Yeah. that sounds like, Chip, I love your name. It also sounds like a drink that like sophomore college girls would drink.
Oh yeah,
like White Claw, White Shadow.
Yeah, it's good because it comes in a plastic jug.
Yeah, exactly. It's like 5 Loco. It's better than 4 Loco. Or it's one of those like secret mixed drinks where you take like a White Claw and dump a shot of tequila in it, and then you got the White Shadow. What's up, Sid? How you doing? Oh, nice. Oh, there we go. We get some classic shoulder patty image goodness. Some Liefeld. Look at that lack of feet on that cover. This is awesome.
Now, my understanding that is the first appearance of
I think first prints of most of these, right? And Profit, right, or something. Yeah, I think so.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and the rest of these guys that
I figured if you ended up not wanting the books, you'd be able to flip them for a decent price.
Yeah, that's awful. You know what? I dug Liefeld back in the day just because it was like when I was reading and it was,
I did too.
you know.
Yeah, when I read his stuff, I wasn't exactly watching the feet of the character. Like I didn't realize that until I got older, and I was like, "Oh shit, he cannot draw a foot to save his life."
Yeah, and then if you start really paying attention to the anatomy, I'm like, "Oh, he doesn't."
Yeah,
like,
it's
what the
crazy.
human
Like
body
that.
looks like.
Great, fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even then, I knew that Captain America cover was redonkulous, but like some of the other stuff, I was like, "Oh, he's genuinely pretty good." And like he's, I mean, to his credit, the dude was 18 years old when he started, like, or 17 or 18 when he started.
But I tell you what, his action scenes are probably what really put him out there. Like he knows how to draw action between characters.
Yeah, and he can make a really solid mark. Like when he's inking himself, he does a pretty good job of it and stuff. So yeah, Rob is very excited. Rob is to blame for the 90s. Like he's like he led to the Joe Mads, and then the Joe Mads led to like the just fucking bananas in 90s comics, and that it was the first domino that started falling. Oh, here we go. Hell yeah. This is Seven Secrets #1, one of the Virgin variants. It also says it on the back. So I'm cheating and reading. Nice. This is if you've never read this is a bizarre story where like they go find dead gods like Galactus, size dead gods in space, and they eat them and harvest their bodies for energy and parts, and so.
Literally eat me comic book.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like the beginning of Obi-Wan where they're eating the little yeah. Oh, here we go. Hell yeah, man. Nice. You got dinos, you got guys without pants, you get all the goodness here. Look at this. Like, I'm pretty sure dudes in the 40s and 50s wore pants and most of the time. Yeah, but they sure didn't draw them on people. They're like, in space, we don't need pants.
I still like the long sleeve shirt, the hood, and no.
Yeah, exactly. It's just kind of like my sexy man legs are going to be free.
Shorts and a sweatshirt.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was Seven Secrets. Oh, I was wrong. Sorry, I was thinking we only find them when they're dead. This is Seven Secrets. You're right.
Yeah, this Seven Secrets. Yeah.
This is a better book than We Only Found Them When They're Dead. We Only Found Them When They're Dead. Start with God in space. This is Seven Secrets That End the World, and
this has the secret society in it. Yeah, it's more.
Whoopsie, sorry. Nice catch there, Jim. Thanks for subtly and Sid. Thanks for. I'm just gonna stare at this one for a while. It's in really nice shape, dude. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah! Is this Neil Adams? I think it might be. Not sure. Or is it Carmen Infantino? Either way, but yeah, like
I love that cover.
Me too. like what is yeah, this is awesome. Anybody do you know who drew this? Is this Carmen Infantino? Is this Infantino?
I believe it's Neil Adams.
Is it Adams? Okay, might be, yeah.
It might I believe
I think you're probably right, actually. Yeah. Because not only a lot of the other artists did these kind of like foreshortening and like the stuff that he did. So that's a cool one. Thank you.
I like that one.
That's true. It's just too bad that Brandon Graham's kind of he's Brandon Graham. Oh, my jam.
That's your big key in there.
It is. It's awesome. Thank you. This is one of my favorite characters of all time too. Like obviously, and I just last week got the first appearance finally in my collection. So I traded. I found a book on Whatnot for $3. That was a $700 book that I traded for the first appearance of Moon Knight. So
I got mine from Marvel Presents. I got that because I hit the Nick's Kicks and Comics mystery box. The first one.
Oh yeah.
It came in the box, and then that was also the one where I hit that Black Panther #3 modern cover.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I scored.
I'm sad I missed out on Nick's boxes because they were stupid.
They were stupid good.
And I just couldn't afford them at the time. So Nick, would you confer with me before dropping boxes and be like, Taylor, what's your budget like right now?
And then right now, actually, you just posted on Instagram for like $300 and some odd dollars.
I know. Well, again, my budget right now is not $300.
I can afford a $30 box.
And even in a $30 box, you probably throw like $120 of the books in there. So nice. This is very cool, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Go with your gut. Oh, the $3 book was the first appearance of Silk, the 1 in 10 variant.
Yeah.
So I found it was in really good shape. Ended up getting a 9.6 on it, and Newsy too. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. This is not Papa Midnight. That's DC. This is just Midnight. I think is they called him in this
Yeah,
issue.
Midnight, the character
Yeah.
Midnight.
And then yeah, hell yeah, man. Claremont's run on X-Men, I don't know, like he doesn't get a lot of love anymore for some damn reason, but
I know. Well, everybody's shifting their focus right now with all these newer artists coming out. So yeah.
but I mean, when you get the Claremont Jim Byrne like collaboration, like, and it just ran on for fucking ever, and they were awesome, and like it was a soap opera in the best of ways.
Yeah.
Great cover too. I mean, look at that. Fuck yeah. Oh, and last and not least, another newsie, and hell yeah, this is great, man. Thank you. Loving it. Oh yeah. So are you going to any more cons coming up? Or are you kind of done for the season, or what do you got?
So we got something a little bit more local here. I believe our Hampton Comic Con is going to be coming up in August, and
Nice.
then my anchor will be Baltimore Comic Con. It moved back to October, so that makes that a lot easier.
Nice. Yeah.
So I'm going to try to hit those two up, and then I think that will finish out my year for me.
Yeah.
But then again, I may pull a Chip Gettler and like just show up randomly.
Yeah, I'm debating doing any of the Chicago ones. I'm still thinking like Fan Expo seems fun, and then the C2E2 doesn't seem that great this year. But everybody won, Tyler. Everybody won. No winners or losers.
Everybody wins.
Now, as usual, the guest won. That's how all this works. Yeah, Joe put together a better box, and that's how it all is. But, he's BMC. You're right. Claremont's kind of wordy now, but. Like some of that I think was Jim Shooter because like he always insisted that like it was always somebody's first issue, and so you had to know what was going on a lot of times. But
yeah, and if it wasn't a first issue, then it was just a new comic book of the latest cartoon that was coming out or the latest toy line that was running because he did all that in the 80s.
Yeah,
he was pushing.
But I mean that led to some great shit. I mean the Secret Wars with the, and then turning into Venom and like. He was apparently he was a jackass to work for, but he hit gold a lot of.
Everybody thinks the boss is a jackass.
Yeah, well, I work for myself. Yeah, I'm my own jackass.
Right.
All right, so you have like, speaking of which, you like are into like everything, right? Like
so. As far as comic books, I'm more of a reader. I have to, in order for me to buy a second or third or fourth issue, I won't even say that. Like I can work through 2 or 3 issues, and then I can kind of, if I can't guess where the story's going and I'm intrigued with it, then it's like a mystery. Sure. It's a puzzle for me. I got to figure it out. But if I'm like, nope, I already know what's going to happen, and generally it happens, or if I'm just like, I don't care, like I don't care.
I do a lot of that too. I'll pick up the first 1 or 2, and then I'm like,
yeah. But what I find in the older comic books, when I kind of, because a lot of my Golden Age stuff, I don't care how cartoony it is, I'll go through it just to see, because you kind of get a vibe, because they were very colloquial in older comic books, the way people would talk. So you can actually get to see like phrases and stuff that you don't hear anymore, or things that have changed over time. And you kind of see just how people talked back then. And I find that interesting, especially, the 40s. Yeah, there's a lot of racism.
And sexism. And there's a lot of
sexism and everything else. But even in the comic books, and I notice, and I don't mean to go on a rant, but
rant away, man. That's what this is.
I know people say, comic books are too political, keep politics out of comic books. And then people will always have the comment, well, they've always been political, and that's an absolute 100% true statement.
Yeah.
But also, I found out after reading some books from the 1930s that it was always a thing to say, keep politics out of my books as well. It was very things have always been around.
Yeah. But I mean, Captain America punched Hitler in like the first fucking issue. So like
that's a pretty political statement.
Yeah.
That was before, and mind you, that happened before we said we were going into the war.
Exactly, and that was controversial at the time because we weren't trying to piss anybody off at the time. We were trying to stay out of it.
Stay out of it. So, that's crazy. But even today with social issues and stuff like that, it's if you want to put that content out there, if you want to put that kind of stuff out there, my suggestion is take the criticisms that you get, because you put it out there to be controversial.
I think it has to be in service of the story too.
Yeah, it has to make sense. It can't just be a random thing forced in there. Like, you shouldn't, because you want to make a point, the story shouldn't sacrifice.
Yeah, and
I think Stan Lee said something to that effect back in the day.
Otherwise it's lazy writing, and I don't care. Like the social commentary, I'm fine with. It's just the lazy writing I'm not a fan of. That's
it becomes a verbal. I always use the term woo woo. It becomes verbal woo woo at that point. Right? It's just verbal woo woo.
Yeah. That's why I love the original Star Trek series, because it tackled a whole shitload of social issues.
Yeah.
But it was in the service of a good story too. It was always a fun romp through the episode.
Made it a point. Like, Captain Kirk was definitely not racist.
No. He would make out with anybody.
Yeah. Live, laugh, pray. That's
exactly. If they're upright, he was making out with them. Like he's
Yeah, I got that. It was great.
Yeah. And that's kind of like, I don't know, like those are the kind of shows I can go back and rewatch all the damn time too. Like the older sci-fi stuff and the older.
I'm unusual childhood, but I've always been kind of nerdy. I like nerdy sci-fi stuff like that. And then all of a sudden these shows started coming on, like The Wizard. Remember that? The toy maker guy?
Yeah.
All his toys could be used like they were dangerous as shit.
Yeah.
Right? And then all of a sudden the world's greatest, the two best shows ever came out, right? A-Team, where they always built something in it.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Every episode, right? Same montage music, moving some barrels around, boom, helicopter.
Yeah.
Right? And then the crowning achievement of them all, MacGyver came out.
Oh, yeah, I knew where you're heading.
I'm going to tell you, if I wasn't allowed to watch an episode of MacGyver the night that it came out, I legitimately threw a tender tantrum. Like, kids want candy.
Did more shit with like a piece of gum and a Swiss Army knife, and
yeah, I'm just sitting there watching it, and the next thing you know, we're going out to the barn trying to make it.
Did they ever work, or is it all bullshit? I never
some of the things we found out. Some of the things do work, but they don't. It's not as easy as he's making.
Sure.
It. Well, something else needs to be added. We did make this exploding pine cones. They're not exploding, but they will burn, and we use those in Boy Scouts to help build fires when I was a kid.
Nice.
Yeah, some of the stuff does work. Being able to magnetize a piece of metal by slamming it up against a copper metal mixture.
Yeah.
We'll
we did some of that, and I went to the Jesus version of Scouts, the Lutheran and whatever Pioneers. We had to do all that crap. But
Pioneers, Sojourners, or something like that.
I don't remember what. Yeah, none of it really stuck. I'm useless in the wilderness, and I'm useless with Lutheranism. So none of it stuck. So, yeah.
So yeah, I always enjoyed that. And then when I found that like there were certain comic books that had these kind of characters that did the same thing, right? That was like my shtick. And then all of a sudden I joined the Army, and it's like, hey, you get to do this shit all the time, right? Because I was a combat engineer, and then I moved over to the Rangers as a breacher, so I was still a combat engineer. And it's like, just figure shit out. It was awesome.
Nice. Yeah, that's why most people I know are a little bit scared of you. I mean, unless we get into like a fight or the world ends, then we're all heading towards your like compound. By compound, I mean your suburban house. But like,
I'll put the great secret out there. So Pocan Joe, right? Everybody already knows this. I have prosthetic hips, and I have problems with my back and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if Pocan Joe ever gets a little uppity, all you have to do is put him on his back. Like, I am a turtle at that point. I'm just like,
there you go. You heard it for the 23rd time here, folks. Just knock him over. Just one little prod with a stick, and you're good.
Yep. Also, electricity affects me a lot more than most people.
Because how do you know this?
Yeah, we did a test.
Fair enough. I'm just wondering how you know, like, an average person's response, and then you're like, you test on somebody else first, because that's what you got to do.
You know, if you touch something, you touch something that's hot or electrical or whatever, you do that, and you kind of shake a little bit.
Yeah.
My hands clench up.
Oh, you see, you lock around it, and then you're screwed.
Yeah, because with the metal in me is conductive.
Yeah, that's Note to self: don't jump in a pool if somebody's getting electrocuted. Just try and save them.
I get all.
All right. So, what of all your build stuff? What's been the hardest so far?
So far, the hardest thing, the one that stressed me out, like legitimately stressed me out because I was worried about getting everything done on time, and I actually hurt myself on it. It was crazy. Was actually the Funko Pop that I casted out of Nordic Gold. So I had to make the Nordic Gold, prep up a pop, then cast it and everything. And I just built the furnace and everything for it, and the crucibles I did not treat them properly before using them, and it actually the bottom blew out. And it like went all over my apron, and some hit my leg and all my shoes, and I'm on fire. And, and then like even when you're sand casting something, very rarely will you get it done in one shot. Like it's a consistent over and over and over again, and then you're just getting it to a point to where you can file it out really. So yeah, that was crazy. That was
fair enough.
It like just to the casting part. It's just to get to the casting part alone. I was just having problems, and it was just a pain in the butt. And it was going to be my first thing to put on and I was just getting upset. And I really don't like. I have an issue with failing. The bat light, the bat signal, right?
Yeah.
I call that one of my recent fails, and that's just because I was stupid at the time, thinking that I knew I couldn't shine a laser in the air, but for some reason, over 3,000 lumens in the air, that made sense to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it turns out in real life, it's just kind of a bullshit thing. It wouldn't work.
It would have worked anyway. But it was a cloudy night that night. But again, you don't want to shine lights with jet fighters flying around the sky.
Yeah, they might frown upon that too. Yeah, you might get in a little bit of trouble. But
let me think some of the other hard ones. The boom boom arrow, that was probably the easiest one to make. Just making a floating arrow. Like I literally ran through that after a couple of test runs, and then I filmed it. And that's the thing about it. The reason why it takes 30 days is I always try to template or test things out beforehand because you don't want to edit that much, right?
Yeah, you want it to.
Because you're still editing about 8 to 9 hours worth of stuff, and you're trying to condense everything into 10 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's what you got. And it's like,
YouTube does not have a great attention span. They scrub through things and they're like, let's see if this worked.
Yeah, and that's the bad thing about DIY videos. I don't teach anybody how to do it, but that's what I'm classified as. You can see on the back end, like, okay, they watched halfway through the montage, skipped.
Yeah.
I try to play cool music that I think people would want to listen to, but who knows? So I kind of spread the music out. But I also like to highlight the artist that I'm usually doing in there too. So it's kind of like hey, I like your music. Maybe these people want to check it out too, type of thing.
Yeah, which is very cool of you.
Yeah.
Now, what skills do you want to add to your repertoire that you've not learned yet? Do you have anything?
Okay, so this is gonna get crazy. I want to learn how to hack.
With a saw? Please tell me with a saw and not my VPN that you're gonna.
A legit computer. I have a crazy idea. Something you see in movies and in comic books a whole lot.
Yeah.
And I wanna see if it can be done.
Okay.
So
you're gonna take over someone's computer and be like, "Would you like to play a game?"
No, I want to take over a building. Actually.
Oh, okay.
In the movies where somebody hacks a building and they're able to turn off certain lights and the windows usually spell out a message or something.
Yeah.
I want to know if that's a possible thing to do.
With some of the newer Hue light bulbs and stuff that are all Wi-Fi, it's probably doable.
I don't know. Apparently all this stuff is hooked into. I got some friends that are going to kind of see if it can be done. And then they're just going to teach me how to do it. We're going to see if it's something we can actually do. Another thing is I do want to do some social engineering. We will and I think this would be a great thing to do at a Comic-Con. Just some little things, some little funny things we can make people do. It's kind of like hypnotizing them, but really reverting their thoughts and try to get them to do what we want them to do inside of a Comic-Con.
All right. That sounds not at all scary, and I'm definitely not going to be at that con.
And we're still trying to figure out how to build a getaway vehicle.
Okay. One that like shoots out of another vehicle, or what are you talking? Like just a
just when my wife has a list of chores for me to do,
I'll
something
get it.
jump
Yeah,
on
gotcha.
it quickly and go without keys.
Nice. That I have faith you can do that. What you need is a giant slingshot
with a rocket on my back.
Yeah.
That's another
go
one
full,
too.
Go full Silver Age with it. What could go wrong?
We're going to take the concept, the basic concept of the Golden Age spaceship, with all the flares and everything.
Yeah.
And we're going to see if we can actually make it fly. A smaller version, scaled down.
Yeah.
So I think you put enough rocket engines behind anything, it will go someplace.
I mean, it probably won't be the most aerodynamic. It'll probably like nosedive at some point, but as long as you get it going like that first. Yeah.
And then, blacksmithing, I can blacksmith just about anything. So then there's always a MacGuffin out there. So
yeah. All right. When are you going to learn like glass blowing and tanning? And
I took glass blowing in college, actually.
Yeah. Nice.
We are going to make synthetic rubies. That's another one that's coming up. I'm going to teach you how to make your own gems.
All right.
And I got a microwave kiln now, so I might be able to do a little bit of glass blowing, small versions of it from a microwave.
Yeah. For the kids at home, don't inhale.
Yeah, don't inhale.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, glass blowing, and I always tell people I took glass blowing in college, and they just laugh at me. I'm like, I needed some extra credits. I wanted to learn something.
I would have if they didn't offer it at my college. I probably would have. I mean, the hell yeah, like
it's a lot harder. Like I grew up blacksmithing, and I didn't realize that the kiln for glass is actually hotter than a blacksmithing forge.
Oh, it's hot as balls, yeah, because you gotta turn sand into glass. It's like no fucking joke. And
you crank that joker open like.
Oh, I see what you did there, Tyler. Yeah. Yeah, I went to Italy and I visited the Isle of Murano, where it's like a big glass blowing island, and just watching those guys do it, it's like holy crap, it's crazy. Like a lot of chintzy, trinkety stuff, but still, like the skills behind it, it's like that. Yeah, that's no joke.
Stupid good, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how small I can do it. Maybe we'll do something cool with that. Who knows? And then I'm always open for ideas. So if somebody wants, all this stuff can get put on the back burner. If somebody comments on a video like, "Hey, think about this," can you do something like this? And I'll always front load that and see what we I don't need to come up with all the stuff I want to make. I'll make stuff for other people.
You don't want to make people wait for months and months and months? Come on. Well, there you go. Everybody in the audience, you should go pitch Joe with the craziest ideas you can come up with. And his links are down below. And let's see what he can have him make. So what do you have coming up like immediately? What's next on your? I mean, I know you got the comic book review.
On the comic book review channel, I was editing today the walkthrough. I did the 2 haul videos.
Yeah.
And I always like to do a walkthrough to kind of show off the cosplayers and the neat stuff that they make. I'm always impressed with that.
It didn't look like a crazy crowded con.
There was a lot of people there, but they did the thing that C2E2 used to do. Remember how the rows were very wide?
Oh yeah, they've actually made it sensible.
Yeah. So, and also there was well over 20 some odd comic book vendors there. Like
oh wow, okay.
Packed with comic book vendors in there. I've never seen so many at a con.
Nice.
And I was just like, "Oh, this may be another anchor for me."
Yeah.
But yeah, I absolutely loved that con. And even though I know I was there with a group of YouTubers, I barely saw anybody because I was just wrist deep all the time.
Nice. Yeah. The glass blower.
Oh, yeah.
Big glass artist makes things that look like giant sea anemones and stuff.
Yeah.
He's a big in Seattle. Kind of a douchebag, but his art's amazing.
Yeah. I've found out
anyone that makes art is kind of a jackass. I'm just gonna go on record here. Like, if you're a good artist, you're kind of a dick. It's just kind of how it goes.
I purposely say I'm not an artist.
I'm just a dick with aspirations. Well, I hope to be an artist someday. Now I got the dick part down. It's got to work on the skills and
the skill set. No, I hear you. Skill sets are hard.
Yeah, was it easy to get to and from and out of the building into the hotels and all that? Was that pretty easy down there too?
Yeah, it was no problem whatsoever. Like the movement was so smooth, and the place is deceptively large. If that
Okay.
because I know we were in a huge building because I have this really bad habit of counting my footsteps.
Nah.
It's a thing.
Yeah. Well,
So and it was so deceptively huge that see, like me and my wife, we do usually the roundabout and then we zigzag through. And we
yeah.
do that a few times because it helps with filming and stuff like that. And what is this?
Like I said, it's like trying to be Keith Richards in the old days before buying a guitar.
Right.
Yeah. The jackass without the skills. Yep. That's
And we were doing that, and every time we would go back through something, I swear to God, just another random vendor would pop up. We kept seeing new stuff every freaking day.
nice.
And it was like, I was like, no, no, we walked through here. Like we walked.
They probably did have people just setting up in the every day for it, which
And I probably saw the smartest thing I have ever seen at a Comic-Con in my entire life here. There was a person there set up to frame your artwork.
oh, that's nice. Yeah.
You bought prints, got something signed, whatever the case may be, they framed it right there, and they like did it quick too, like framed it up, matted it, whatever you wanted. And so yeah, we got a couple of things framed there.
Nice.
The auction was fun. The art auction, spent way too much money at it.
Do they have like an automat cutter, or were they doing it all by hand? Because if they can do it by hand quickly, that's also a fucking skill.
It seemed like they were doing it at hand, but I couldn't really see their machinery in the back. I
Yeah,
know they had
because, I mean,
something back there, but I'm not sure.
Or they probably had a bunch of stuff pre-cut for comic sizes and all that to begin
Yeah,
with.
like
Because
they had some average sizes up there.
Yeah.
That I saw, but then they were like, it will cost more if you need this. I'm assuming
Yeah,
that's the stuff
that makes sense. Because if you've never tried cutting a mat board for art, it is a fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah,
it's like mitering with a goddamn like X-Acto knife. It's like not, or the equivalent thereof. It's not fun. So,
yeah, it's not just a drop-in thing. As a matter of fact, the piece of artwork that I bought at the auction, the Mr. Doom, I was like, I spent stupid money on it.
Yeah, well,
so, from a wonderful artist. I don't know if he does comic books or anything like that. It's just a great picture.
Yeah.
I immediately like got it that night and then took it straight over there in the morning. I was like, frame this now because I know what's going to happen. It's going to be in the car. Some comic books are going to fall on it, dent it all up, and I don't want that.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's a good idea.
And it's probably the most expensive piece of artwork I'm about to go stick in my garage.
Well, as long as your garage is dry and
it's dry in there,
then you're fine. Yeah, you got to put something in the workspace. Why not?
We've been doing that too. So we rebuilt the Evil Lair. That will be July's video. That will be coming out. We redid it, brought in some new equipment, repainted it. I put this paint from Bear. It's called, ready for this? This is how ridiculous colors are getting. Phoenix Fossil. You know what color that is?
I'm guessing off-white, but I don't really know.
Gray.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
I was like,
shit.
That and I highlighted things in Craftsman red because I'm a redneck.
Nice. So you must have like serious power and stuff running to the layer, right? I mean, like it's wired up pretty well and everything, or is it just kind of like the power draw and all that? I'm just guessing, like because you make like.
Yeah, we got a so when we bought this house, of course, I had to come in and add my own flair and touch to it. So we have 2 backup generators.
Okay.
I have 220 on both sides of the wall.
Nice.
And then I got a backup power line that goes out to because I don't even want my sprinkler system to fail. Oh,
gotcha. Yeah, there you go.
And of course, the 2 generators are backed up on a solar panel.
Oh, of course, because I mean, you need triple redundancy.
Yeah. Need power. Like I'm soft now. Like I'm not trying to cook my food over a fire anymore.
I have a lot of that. Actually, no, I don't. I have a cell phone. This is my but so if the cell network goes down, if we ever are taking over like war games, I'm kind of fucked. But
It's a tough deal.
Or I'm just going over to your place, going to knock you down and just take over your house.
Yeah, just push me over and take it.
Yeah, that's the easiest idea. Just go, find somebody with bad hips and knock them over and take over their shit.
That's all you gotta do. I do it all the time. I visit old folks home. I'm like, give me that candy, old man.
Yeah, exactly. Just, give me that one.
Pudding is mine.
Note: the opinions expressed here are not serious, unless you mostly. I mean, but as far as you know, if the old folks are still alive, it's not serious. If they've already moved on, it's like you gotta catch it towards the end. That's what I'm saying. All right, so you got the weekly stuff, and then when does the July video drop, or when is your next big?
It's
video?
always at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Because it just helps with cycling of the algorithm at that point, days before it. So that will be dropping. So we just dropped where I had my niece and my nephew, my two favorite henchmen, right? Surprising thing about frames, we went to a Comic-Con, a small one together, and I bought them some posters and stuff, and nobody was there to frame them, so we made frames.
Well, nice. There you go.
Super simple, stupid frames. You watch the video, you'll immediately pick up how to do it. So that one will probably drop in July. So that puts the promo right around the 15th, middle of the month.
Okay. Not bad.
And then again, my walkthrough video, I'm hoping to have that out in the next couple of days.
Perfect. And what do you got? You got anything going on for the 4th? You just seem like somebody that might have like 8,000 fireworks or something.
No, we make our own.
Oh, okay. That seems totally normal.
Virginia does not like fireworks that can shoot into the sky.
Yeah.
So we don't buy fireworks. What we do is we make signal flares, and we
totally different.
And we shoot them up in the air.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, Jason Aaron's Thor run is a great modern comic run. The Gore the God Butcher storyline and all that
was a good
top
run.
notch.
And I'm okay with the one that's going on right now. I forget who writes it, but the whole Banner War thing that it tied into.
That's dumb as hell. Honestly, that just reminds me of my 5-year-old nephew banging two toys against each other.
Yeah, it's like fight.
And it's not, and he could tell a better story. my nephew could come up with a much more interesting idea than what the Kate's is.
Seems like the new concept now is to take random characters and make them other characters. Instead of just let the characters be themselves, right? It just seems to be the thing to do right now. And I guess it's fine, but it's just not particularly.
It's all right. It's not the original Thor. The Thor up until this was not bad. You're right. It was decent. But then it's this shit. I'm like, just get past this, please.
Right now, Thor's Hulk. He's a Hulk right now. Why?
Yeah.
Why does he need to be a Hulk? Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I do think it's just Donny Cates trolling the people too. He's like, what's the dumbest thing I can get away with, and they'll still pay me.
Yeah, but you think an editor would have stopped that? Like, isn't that the editor's job? I often wonder.
I think at Marvel they really just give it like it's a crossover, so they'll sell 2 titles instead of just 1, and that's all they care about. I think.
Yeah.
I do think Marvel's just about the dollars, and they're editorial. They don't give a fuck. Like they really don't care about telling a good story. Most of their comics they put out now are hot garbage. Yeah. And you can find out on my channel or Joe's. We could get both of our not at all opinionated on these things. But yeah, most mainstream shit, especially Marvel right now, is fucking bad.
I watch a lot of your reviews while I'm like most people while I'm in the garage. I'll listen to them while I'm tinkering on something, and I'm absolutely amazed how much we agree on things.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of overlap. If you want an opposite opinion, go watch Mark from Legion of Comics because he and I disagree about almost every book. He's a great guy. Just don't tell him I ever said that because it'll go to his fucking head. But like Venom, I mean the Venom stuff. I mean now they're gonna find the next big thing and beat it to hell. The summer event, I'm actually gonna try because it is Jason Aaron and it's that Avengers versus X-Men versus the Eternals.
Yeah,
we'll see
where that goes because the last couple of Eternals runs were just
boring.
It's got everything except for the Turtles.
Yeah, they're boring as hell. But it's an interesting idea where like the Eternals have to get rid of the X-Men because they're mutations and they're deviants, therefore. So that's at least
technically they're deviants. I always kind of wondered about that. Like, when do they count?
Yeah, and he could do these bigger things if they let him do what he wants. Like I think that was the great thing about the Thors. I don't think anybody gave a shit because not a lot of people were reading it. So he's like, I'm gonna have Thor in 3 different times of his life go fight this guy with the sword.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be awesome.
It was very simple story. One of my favorite stories of the year was the Dark Ages. I really liked that. You know what?
Oh yeah, that was
fun.
Superpower
beings and you take electricity away from them.
Yeah, I think it ended a little too quickly, but like it was a fun universe, and
they should have ran that for a while, like that. Easy 12 issues out of that, no doubt.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, exactly. It's just a little steampunk spaceship, lit on wood and spit and Doctor Doom's body or some shit.
Which, again, me being a nerd, right?
Yeah.
So if somebody still has the power of magnetism, right? You still have electricity. Like you,
Yeah.
that's how engines work.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. If any of that shit, like, there still could. I mean, you could start fresh. Like,
it was like static not around.
yeah, at some point there has to be a suspension of some of that because you're right.
From
Otherwise,
reality. Oh yeah, I get it. Like I don't beat up comic books for that. I love how they keep the story so interesting though.
Yeah.
You don't even think about it. Like I didn't have that thought until after.
Yeah, I mean, if geothermal still worked, I mean, you could still figure out a lot of shit by just digging a tunnel underground and having it come back up. Like, there's a lot of ways. You're right. Where you just be like, all right, so that doesn't work anymore because
any speedster, you can generate electricity through friction in space.
Yeah,
like done. But no, it was still a great issue.
It was fun. You're right. Yeah. I'm digging. What am I even reading at Marvel? Moon Knight's kind of the only thing I really can think of.
I really like Moon Knight right now.
Yeah. But otherwise, Marvel, not so great. DC's got some interesting. Like Nightwing's fun. Swamp Thing.
So I love Ramvi's writing.
Mostly, I don't give a shit about his Venom. I tried. I fucking tried.
It was okay. I didn't mind it. What else have I been reading? I read so much; it's hard to just pinpoint one thing. What else am I really liking?
I don't even know. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I've been reading. I've noticed, and I've noticed this on my show as well. I've been buying more independents, a lot more independents than what I used.
Jed McKay. Sorry. Yeah, but Jed McKay is writing Moon Knight.
Yeah.
BMC. Yeah, I would read. I try a lot of the independents. Not the problem. There's a lot of independents that come out. And honestly, it's kind of getting like Marvel and DC, where a lot of them aren't that great.
Well, yeah, some of them
there are some really good ones, and that's awesome. And it's like awesome that creators have opportunity. And I'll try first issue, but
even while I was at the con, it was funny because my wife was with me, and I'm buying these independent comic books from these artists that I've never heard of before. You should always give somebody a shot. And I'm buying like a couple from a guy. He's like selling for his friends too. I'm buying like 3 or 4 of them. And the guy's like, "Oh, you like comic books? You read comic books?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm at a comic." Like, weird. I think he's just socially awkward. He's just trying to open a conversation. So I'm like, yeah, I read comic books. And then my wife breaks in with he reviews them on YouTube. He reads comic books, and the look on the guy's face was like, "Oh," he's like,
"Yeah." Which is great, except for like if you give bad reviews. Like I don't know if I applied for a job at Bad Idea like a week or so ago. They were hiring an assistant editor. I've not heard back. I just said, listen, I've never edited a goddamn thing in my life, but I'm a quick reader and I have opinions. I put a link to my video and I'm like, if you want somebody to be honest about comics, I can learn the rest of it.
There was a couple of Bad Idea guys that they didn't have a table at the con, but they were walking around. Because they were brave enough to wear a pink hat that said "Bad Ideas."
Oh, nice. Well, yeah, hey.
Yeah,
there's brave in Texas.
Fair. But yeah, it was good stuff. It was, and let's see. I'm trying to think of this independent book I've been reading that I'm absolutely enjoying. And the name escaped. Oh, Once and Future. I really enjoyed.
See, I'm behind on it. I read the first arc and I really liked it, and I've got all the issues. But it just kind of fell by the wayside. And I want to read it as a chunk because I think it probably reads better that way.
It needs to, because there are some of those. I mean, I usually call them the in-between issues. You just have a junk issue in between, just to kind of slow down the story a little bit. That happens a lot in the second and third arcs.
It's a gorgeous book, though.
Gorgeous book, and it's just fat. I love Arthinian. So I'm a reader. It doesn't have to be comic books. And I particularly like Arthinian type writing.
Sure.
And I like it when you take those concepts and you amalgamate them into a more modern story, but you still hold the characters true to who they are in the original story, or you make them sadistic.
Yeah.
Which
like
I like.
Evil Arthur that wants to just fucking take over everything and bring the kid of Britain back. to everyone, whether they want it or not. Like
the whole King Arthur, because and this was surprising. Me and Mark talked about this. He was like, "Well, King Arthur's a good guy," and I was like, "I think you need to go back and read the real story of King Arthur."
Yeah.
That dude was a racist. He didn't like anybody towards the end of his story.
There was a trippy as balls movie that came out, I think probably about a year ago now. It doesn't seem like it, but The Green Knight. Have you seen?
Yeah, I watched
it's fucking bizarre. It's gorgeous, and I never want to watch it again.
Yeah, it was weird. Well, The Green Knight makes an appearance in Once and Future too.
See, I figured he probably had to. Yeah, like,
he's going.
But yeah, like the Arthurian tales were not like. They're not super pleasant when you get down to it.
They're about as dark as you can get. Like, you think of the darkest movie you know that's non-horror, right?
Yeah.
And then go read some original King Arthur shit.
Yeah, I mean, BMC, I can't. I think it was. I mean, it was fantastic, and it was well. I mean, I saw it in the theater. It was very, very loud. They had the sound cranked way too high for it, and I liked it. It's just kind of like, okay, I get it. I got the vision. I don't know if I ever need to watch that. Maybe like 5 or 6 years, I'll give it a revisit. But it's not one I'm like, I'm going to watch that on repeat for some light viewing. Yeah,
right. Hey, I'm not doing anything on a Sunday.
Yeah, I'll throw on Doctor Strange 2 again before I throw on that one, just to
So, have you seen the new Ms. Marvel?
I dig it. I know a lot of people are trashing on it, but like,
I don't know why they're trashing on it. I'm digging it too.
For the alternate opinion, you go to Mark at Legion of Comics channel. He hates it, and I don't know. I don't get it, but like,
well, again, I can see why somebody would hate it because it is. And I hate this term. I think it's an empty phrase, right? But it's not made for us, whatever that means. But it is a kid's story about a kid.
Yeah.
Being, I get that, but I can still enjoy that kind of story. I'm not a fan of Kenobi. I thought that was poorly handled.
I thought it was okay, but it was just one long chase sequence with no consequences, which you kind of knew it would be.
It seemed like the ending was just proof that the story didn't need to be made.
Yeah. And I really do think they were just trying to like tie up a couple nitpicky bullshit that people were like, oh, that doesn't tie into continuity. Well, now it does because we cut off Vader's half helmet. Spoilers, whatever. But like, right. I mean, it was fine. It wasn't bad. Yeah, I thought it was okay. It was much better than Boba Fett, but that's not saying much. Boba Fett was fucking awful. Ms. Marvel, like, it's not aimed at middle-aged white guys.
It's not, but we're enjoying it.
But it's still clever. It's fun.
Yeah,
I do wish they would go back to like what they did in the first issue or first episode, where they had a lot of like her imagination in the background and like the graphics and stuff. I thought that was awesome. They kind of dropped it, or they really toned down on it.
Here's my thought, because I thought the same thing, and then I think about things. Because when you're doing something mind-numbing like filing, your mind wanders. Here's what I think it is. When all that imagination stuff was happening, she was very unfocused. She was living in a world. Now
she's living the reality.
Now this thing of maturity has to come upon her, that this secret power is given her, and now she has to be,
now she's got to grow up.
Superhero, right? Yeah. Grow up, right? Yeah. So I think that's interesting, because
I think you have a good point. I also think budget.
Good point. But although I add graphics to my stuff, not as good as those, but I add graphics to my Evil Lair videos. But I cheat. I steal all mine. It's from Metal Slug. If you remember the video game Metal Slug, that's where all my animation comes from.
That's awesome. Yeah, Tyler, I think she's amazingly cast. Like, when I first saw like just a still image of her, I was like, that doesn't look like how I pictured. But then you see her, like, you hear her talk and you watch her, and like, she's got the enthusiasm you need, and she's awesome at it. And like,
I love it when they do this thing, and they do it in all Athenian stories too. You take this little thing from the past, a lot of people probably don't know about. It gets right? The Great Partition that actually happened, that created Pakistan, and how that really changed that entire region. That was so smart to add that into the story.
Yeah,
and why their family moved over here, and adding that. It wasn't just hey, let's make the character Muslim just to make them Muslim. It's a legit thing into this story
and it's integral to who she is, and like the family dynamics and everything else. Yeah, I can BMC, I can see what you're saying about the CGI powers. I also think they really wanted to separate her from Mr. Fantastic, who's going to be coming. And again, it is a lot easier to do glowy shit than it is to make stretchy shit look good.
Yeah, stretchy shit always comes off comical. Glowy shit always comes off crystallized, which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, her first acting job, she got hired, I think, by a tweet or something like that. Like, she got an audition from, like, Twitter or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And she's a giant Marvel nerd. Like, I saw her Twitter where she, like, on video, like, someone asked her, and she recited the entire Marvel filmography chronologically without missing a beat. And, like, yeah.
I don't think I could do that correctly.
I couldn't do it. I mean, I know. And she didn't, like, I would have forgotten. I'm like, oh, yeah, they fucking made Ant-Man. I forgot all about that. You know, like, but no, she caught all of them. Like, including the Hulk.
Remember when Taskmaster was actually in a Marvel movie, and I still to this day say, nope, I did not see Taskmaster anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that one, yeah. Well, they'll be showing back up in, not Dark Avengers, what are they calling it? Not New Warriors, Thunderbolts, Thunder Strikers, Thunder Nerds. Yeah, who cares? Yeah. Yeah, whatever. I mean, Ms. Marvel's great. Obi-Wan's okay. I don't really care about Rogue One, the next thing. What I liked about The Mandalorian and stuff, it was telling it a fresh story. Although they started in the first season, now they're tying it back in everything else again, but whatever. But like, you got to get away from the Skywalkers and shit. Like, just
right. Because that image of him kissing his sister always pops into my head whenever I see them, and I'm still to this day, I'm like,
yeah. It was a long time ago and far, far away.
Yeah,
it was a different era.
These days.
All right.
With my little sadistic twist to me, my new favorite thing is that The Boys. I'm just absolutely amazed.
I'm waiting till season 3 is done, and I'm going to binge it because that's a binge show for me.
Whenever I watch, I'm not going to give any spoilers.
Oh, I already, I know they.
Yeah,
it's all violent and gory, and they had an orgasm. That's all I know.
Right before I hit the play button, I think in my head, what is the new shocking thing that I'm going to see in this? Because that's the way it works. There's always that shock factor thing, and you're like, right. And The Boys is an unusual comic book to begin with, but they take that shit to a new level.
Yeah, I tried reading the comic and I couldn't do it. Garth Ennis is very hit or miss for me.
Yeah,
and like, I didn't dig it. I thought like it works better as a show than it did as a comic.
Definitely. But I remember.
I'm waiting for Invincible season 2 because I really liked season 1 of that as well.
I did too. Yeah, that was another thing. What's the next shocking thing? We don't need the big action moments anymore. We want the shocking moments.
Yeah, that was like still a decent story with it. I mean, Boys, the story's kind of secondary to, like, can you blow up in someone's asshole and kill them? Or
pee-pee hole. Yeah, pee-pee hole.
I mean, it's great. It's awesome. It's phenomenal. And what's his face as Homelander? Yeah, he's got that villain thing down.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I don't think they could have. I can't imagine after seeing him do that role now in the 3rd season of it. I'm honestly like, who else could they get to do this? And then like one time I was like, they could do like a weird looking William Dafoe, but not an old one. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I was like,
not that I've read BMC. I don't think he's talked much about. Maybe he has, but I haven't read it about Boys or Preacher. So.
I've read Boys and I watched the show. I loved. I forget if it was 2 seasons or one long. No, it was 2 seasons. The first season of it was really good, right?
Yeah.
It was kind of in the same line of The Boys, and then the second season of it. And I know where they got their source material from the comic book and everything, but it just didn't. That was a real miss for me. The first season
it got fucking weird, but also the comic is really fucking weird too. But I don't know if Garth has talked about the show much at all. And I think Carl Urban is great as Billy Butcher too. Like, he's just that
right. Like, who else would play that part? I can't think of anybody.
He's also in the very underrated Dread movie. Like.
Yeah. Yes, he was. I totally forgot about. I keep forgetting he was a younger guy in Hollywood.
Yeah. He did that. He was on, like, Being Human or some shit, and then, like, he was Scourge.
That's right, he was.
Yeah.
He's one of those forgettable. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
Definitely his breakout role, if you will, because he will always be known as Billy the Butcher.
Yeah, and he's awesome at it. Yeah. Well, listen, man, it's gonna be about 10:15, and I have to probably get my stupid bulldog out before he pees in the house. Because so what? Like, promote your shit again, and we can call this one a day.
Oh yeah, sure. So yeah, if you're not busy, and you got a few minutes in your day, and you want to know my opinions on a comic book, agree to disagree, get along with me, whatever the case. Or if you have a suggestion, if you want me to read something and give my opinions on it, I'm happy to do it. You can check that out at Pocan Joe Comic Book Review. And if you just want to see a nerd that has a very minimal skill set that's trying to learn more, build comic book shit, check out Evil Layer Building Projects. And leave a suggestion.
Yeah, and the links to all that are down below. So go click on Joe, sub him up. I mean, you're probably already subbed. He's got way more subs than I do. But, if you're not, give him a sub, give him a follow, give him a watch. As far as what I got the comic book review on Wednesday. I probably should drop a video on Thursday, but I haven't figured out what the hell it's going to be yet. Or should probably have to record it. So I don't know. Yeah. I think I got it. Maybe it'll be a top 10 this week. Chris, the comic vet, keeps bugging me to do a top 10 first appearances. So nice. I might pull Adam out of my ass and see what I can do. Otherwise, I'll review something.
You got a couple right there. Actually, you just got to.
Yeah. Nice. So thank you, everybody. I'm not going to have one of these next week. I'm taking off for the holiday weekend. And after that, I don't know. If you want to be on the show, if you want to be a guest, shoot me a DM on Instagram because I'm looking for folks to be on here, and it's a fun time. And that's about it. And we'll talk to y'all soon.
Thank you for having me again. I appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for being on here, man. I appreciate it. And thanks for the great books, and thanks for everything else. And don't be a dick, everybody. See ya.